Hi, this is Scott, Kilo Sierra 6, Delta Alpha Yankee, and for today's video I wanted to do a bit of a quickie on an interesting technique or tactic that you can throw into your radio operator's toolbox. And what this basically is a means by which you can allow radios from different services to be able to communicate with each other without doing anything to the radios themselves. Now, for lack of a better term, I came up with the term coordinated crossbanding. But that's basically what we're going to be talking about here. Now, this is not a new concept. I've done this before in the public safety sector, although it was carried out a little bit differently. But I had it brought to my attention recently by some of my channel subscribers because they had seen a video put out by a radio channel called Secondhand Overland. And they did an excellent job on this. Their production values are by far better than mine. But I also wanted to put it out for my particular audience so I can put my own particular spin on it, but also I wanted to showcase something that these Wouxun radios do that I think is pretty clever. So that's a kind of lets me kill two birds with one stone. So let's get into what we're talking about here. So in this case, I've got a Wouxun KG935 Golf, which is a GMRS radio, and it will not transmit in anything other than the GMRS band, and but it will receive a lot more than that. For instance, it can receive radio traffic from the amateur radio service. It just can't transmit on that. I've got my Wouxun KG UV9 Papa, and it is a amateur radio service radio, or a ham radio. And while it will monitor GMRS, it will not transmit in GMRS. But these two radios can effectively talk to each other because they have a couple of features that will allow this to occur. Specifically, what I'm talking about here is dual channel display, but more importantly, what's called dual watch or dual receive. So if I have both of these bands active on the screen, it will receive any incoming signals from either band, either the primary or the subband. So if something comes in on 146.420, I'm going to hear it. If it comes in on channel 20, I'm going to hear it. Now, in a lot of cases on HTs, I tend not to like this. I do use this a lot on my mobile rig in my truck. But my mobile rig in my truck also has independent volume controls for both of the displayed bands. So if I don't want to hear what's going on the left side, which is always public safety, and I want to hear what's going on the amateur radio side, which is the right side, I can just turn that volume down and effectively shunt that off, and I don't have to worry about it. But with some HTs, you have to go into the menu and actually cancel that out. And that's kind of problematic. But here's where Wouxun really shows that whoever designs their radios actually uses radios. Because one interesting thing is, and it's present on both of these, I'm sure it's present on other models within the range, but the way you navigate this is if I want to talk on the primary band, which is channel 20 right here, I of course would, it's active and it shows main, as you can see right there. If I want to go down here, now in this case I actually can't transmit here, but if it was another GMRS channel I could. So you move between the main and subbands by pressing band. But if I need to get rid of this for a while, in other words, there's a lot going on here and I don't want to listen to it, all I have to do is just simply press this TDR button right here, and I go back to single display and I don't hear anything going on in the bottom screen. It's still there, it's just effectively shut down. I want to turn it back on, it just switches right back on, no problem. And that's something that's clever and I really genuinely like about the Wouxun radios. So I'm going to start calling them by a proper name. I've heard Ocean, Wouxun, I'm going Wouxun. Okay, so enough of that. I won't do that anymore. I know it's getting old. The same thing is present, of course, on the UV9 Papa. The problem is the display on the UV9 Papa is pretty pitiful. But in this case, we're displaying in the main band 146.420, and in the subband channel 20, which is GMRS. So what we have here is we're going to be transmitting with this radio on 146.420. We're monitoring channel 20. On this radio, it's the opposite. We're transmitting on channel 20. We're monitoring 146.420. So if you coordinate this ahead of time and you've come up with this agreement, now effectively what can happen is these two radios can talk to each other. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transmit on channel 20. Now this is not a broadcast, this is an intentional transmission, so there is a difference. There have been some people that have said, well, maybe this isn't necessarily kosher because you're just throwing a signal out there in the blind. Well, it's no different than calling CQ. That's something thrown out into the blind as well, or just coming up on the air and saying, you know, WRTI 407 or KS6DAY monitoring. So you're going to send your transmission out. So in this case, I'm going to key up on 420 or channel 20 rather. And as you can see here, my ham radio heard that. Now I'm going to kerchunk in the other direction, 146.420. And it's going to be monitored here. So I can send a message out in the blind on channel 20. This radio will hear it. This radio can reply on 146.420, and this radio will hear the transmission on 146.420. Thus, you can actually converse back and forth between two radio services without having to do any modification to the radios. Now, of course, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and a simple Mars mod would kind of fix the whole situation. But I understand there's people who like to color within the lines and actually follow the rules and have some respect for the rule of law. I get that. So this is a legal means. So if you're out, you know, maybe four-wheeling with some GMRS guys and you're a ham radio guy and you want to be able to talk vehicle to vehicle, that's a method for you right there. It beats having to carry two radios as well. Like I said, it's just a real quickie, but it gave me a chance to kind of talk about the concept in general and then show that interesting little thing with the way the Wouxun, or rather the Wouxun radios carry out that ability to either have your dual watch, dual receive going, or just simply, now they're in different spots here, just press that TDR, make it go away. Then come back, we're back activated again. So with that, I'll bring it to a close. Thank you for watching and or listening. Have a wonderful day. And I should have some more video coming very, very soon. So this is Kilo Sierra 6, Delta Alpha Yankee, also WRTI 407 in Southwest Visalia, California. Take it easy.